Next, we're gonna prep our lash tray to begin our lash application process. To prep your lash tray, you need a pair of tweezers, clean tweezers, and a lash tile. You can get tiles anywhere. Personally, I like to buy them at beauty stores, or you can even, create your own, get creative. These are your personal use. So let's begin with setting up our lash tray from our smallest size to our largest size. The way you set up your tray is all personal preference. I personally like my smaller sizes to be up top and then work my way down to my larger sizes. It's just personal preference. So when opening your lash trays, grab your tweezer. The corner of your tweezer, you're going to lift the corner of the lash strip and go like this. And that's how you're going to grab it. You grab your tweezer and pull outwards towards you. And you grab a strip of lash. You put it onto your tray. Now let's do it again with our next size. I'm starting my tray with a 7mm. Now I'm going to get an 8mm next. So remember, you open your lash tray, the tip of your tweezer, you come in with closed tweezers. You kind of you're going to flick it. So you can lift up the little sticker. Sometimes it's a little hard, but make sure you get in there. You get the little flick, open your tweezer, grip, and pull towards you. And that's how you take out a lash strip from your lash tray. Stick it onto your lash tile. Now I have 7 and 8. Let's move on to number 9. Same process. You're going to take out from the corner, flick, make sure you get a little grip, and pull towards you. I'm going to continue filling up my lash tray, and you guys can continue watching. By the way, if you're serious about becoming a lash artist and don't want to waste time guessing, I have a mentorship program that helps you build your lash business from scratch. The link is in the description down below. So I added 7 through 12. I'm gonna go all the way to 15. I wanna have all my sizes available to me just in case I wanna do something creative or my client wants really long lashes, okay? So I need to put 2 more sizes and then our lash tray will be ready. Sometimes this will happen where you try to lift up the lash strip and the little sticker kind of comes off. Don't worry, just put it somewhere and come in towards the other side and do the same thing where you're flicking it and try pulling it towards you. Be gentle because these strips sometimes don't hold up too well when you're pulling them out of its case. Same thing, put it where it belongs. Last one. So my lash tray is ready to begin my lash application. Here I chose to add sizes 7 through 15, starting with my smallest size, working my way down to my longest size. My most common lash tray I use is always here, which is my mixed tray. And I already know that this one's mixed, but if you forget, label it. You can put a label right here or even on your tray itself. I also have other trays that I constantly use, like my brown tray, because that's something I'm constantly using. So here's where I keep my most commonly used trays. And I also have other trays that I use on a consistent basis, but not as often as these. I'll store those in a separate container. Let me show you. So for my other trays that I also use, I have little photo boxes. I buy these also at the Container Store, or even Ross has them. I've seen them there and they come in bulk. So what I like to do is I like to put a little piece of tape and write what's in here because I'll forget. And I just store my lash trays like this. As you can see, I have a couple. And I even have some that have designated lash styles because every client has different personal requests. So I have a client that specifically asked for a specific curl, so I'll store the lash trays in here and the lash tray itself in here. And it's just like a little clean container box. So get creative, on how to store your lash trays, but always make sure they're covered in a tight container and make sure they're not getting squished because you don't want to squish the extensions itself. Like I mentioned before, mixing curls is one of my favorite things to do because not only does it create a more texturedized look, it gives it depth, emphasize. It doesn't look so uniform and just like a straight line. Have you ever heard those people that say, my lashes just look like they're just one size? That's because they're not creating texture and dimension. This is where mixing curls and adding layers into your curls makes a lot of sense. For example, you can mix C and CC curl to create a very natural but soft look, but still give it a little oomph, nothing too much. Or you can mix C and D curl to give it a little bit more of a dramatic look. Personally at Tira, we don't use D curl, but it is out there, just putting it out there. Or you can mix M curl and CC curl to give you more of a foxy look. If you're creating a cat eye, you'll use M curl out here and then you'll taper down with CC curl. Or if you're creating a style that you want to create a dark lash line, you'll start with CC at the top layer and C curl at the bottom layer to give you that depth and dark lash line look, like if you were tail lining your waterline, if that makes any sense. So to wrap it up, don't be afraid to mix curls, try different styles and see what works for you and what works for your specific client. Because remember, we all have different unique facial features. And if your client wants to emphasize their eye, mix them. If they just want to kind of soften it up, you can still mix them and get creative with it. The world is your oyster. Try different things. Lashing is an artistry. I don't gatekeep in my mentorship program. I show you exactly how I got booked, built a brand, and turn this into my full-time income. If you are ready and this is your goal, use the link down below to apply.